BYD has finally done it. They've built a luxury SUV that genuinely looks like it could bite a Land Rover. But in chasing the perfect off-road beast, they might have tripped over their own feet on the pavement. This is the all-new 2026 BYD Leopard Titanium 7. It's boxy, it's brutish, and it's packed with more battery cells than a container ship. But is it $1 million look with a few $1,000 mistakes? Today, we are breaking down the absolute best parts of this electric off-roader and the few things I'd personally send back to the drawing board. Let's start with the love, because honestly, there's a lot to be smitten with here. First, the design. BYD's design language has matured. The Titanium 7 ditches the overly complicated lines for a purposeful rectangle look. I'm obsessed with the C-pillar. It's thick, it's planted, and it gives the car a visual stance that screams security. And look closely at these flush door handles. They aren't just for show. They help this brick achieve a surprisingly slippery drag coefficient of just 0.28. For a box on wheels, that's aerodynamics wizardry. Moving inside, we have the tech feature that genuinely wowed me. It's the augmented reality heads-up display. Most HUDs just throw speed numbers at your windshield. This one projects live navigation arrows that look like they're glued to the tarmac 50 meters ahead. When you approach a turn, a glowing path snakes across the road. It feels like you're guiding a fighter jet onto an aircraft carrier. But you buy a Leopard for the performance. This is the dual motor setup, and the instant torque is relentless. We're talking a 0 to 60 sprint that pins you back in the seat. However, it's the chassis tuning that makes it feel alive. They've mounted the battery low, so despite the high ride height, it corners flat. It hides its weight terrifyingly well. As for the interior highlight, I have to give credit to the materials. Haidachi has finally fixed the rental car feel of their early models. This new quilted leather is buttery soft, and they've added physical volume knobs. Thank you. Plus, the storage is genius. There's a massive hidden compartment under the center console, big enough for a handbag or a week's worth of groceries. It's the practicality win that families will actually use every single day. So that's the stuff that makes me want to empty my bank account. But if I'm spending my money, there are a few things on this SUV that would make me reach for the pen and redraw the blueprint. Let's talk about the change list. Yes, we have to start with the price. On paper, it starts at a tempting $82,000. That's aggressive for this much hardware. But our tester here, equipped with the Overland package, the upgraded sound system and the fancy paint, quickly crept past the $102,000 mark. At that price, you are no longer competing with the mid-tier rivals. You're in range of the big dogs, and that's a much tougher fight. Next up, the controversial design element. Everyone is talking about the air vents online, and unfortunately, the hype is real. I get it, BYD. You wanted a clean, minimalist dashboard, but having to dive into the touchscreen menu just to redirect air away from my face, it is a frustration you feel every single time you drive the car. There is no tactile feedback. You have to take your eyes off the road to make your knees stop sweating. This needs to be a physical toggle. And finally, the biggest surprise fail, the usability flaw. For a car called the Titanium 7, you'd expect cavernous space, but because of that sloping, stylish roofline and the thick battery pack under the floor, rear headroom is surprisingly tight. If you're over 6 feet tall, you will be scrunching. It's a genuine shame in a car this size. The kids will love it, but your tall friends are riding shotgun. So, where does that leave this Leopard in the real world? Let's put it up against the elephant in the room, specifically the Tesla Model X and the new Audi Q6 e-tron. Range anxiety is dead for most people now. It's all about charging speed. On a road trip, you're looking at charging the Titanium 7 from 10 to 80% in about 22 minutes on a fast charger. That is right where it needs to be to compete with the best from Germany and America. Efficiency-wise, it's decent but not class-leading. Where the Leopard wins is in character. The Tesla feels like an appliance. The Audi feels like a computer. The BYD actually feels like a 4x4. It has a tougher suspension setup, which means you feel the road a bit more than in the air-suspended rivals, but it also gives you confidence that if you decide to leave the pavement, this car won't crumble. It's a trade-off. If you want an SUV that stands out in a parking lot, that values off-road ability and aggressive design above all else, you are going to absolutely love it. It feels special. We'll see you on the next one.